Syria's al-Qaeda branch, the Nusra Front, doesn't operate independently on the Syrian battlefield. It fights alongside other armed opposition groups against the government, with the aim of creating a state based on Islamic law. Now the group's powerful ally, the Islamic Front, seems to have broken ranks. Its new manifesto calls for a state of law that stays away from fundamentalism and radicalism. It is clearly a more moderate stance. The group describes it as an independent Syrian decision.
The manifesto is agreed by most of the groups, apart from a few. Yes, we didn't consult Nusra, but we expected them to agree. If they don't, then we will leave this disagreement aside until we topple the regime.
Nusra did react. It said the manifesto contradicted Islam because it called for fighting extremists and not infidels. It called for justice through trials instead of revenge. It called for cooperation with regional and international parties without naming them. These countries could be fighting Islam. And the manifesto called for a state of law. So far, Nusra's leadership hasn't condemned their allies, but they did urge the Islamic Front to modify the manifesto. Already, supporters of Nusra have begun labeling groups under the Islamic Front banner like Ahrar al-Shem traitors. It's not clear if and how their relationship will be affected. Ahrar al-Shem has long been a close ally of Nusra. It called for street protests when the United States labeled it a terrorist organization. Nusra is mainly made up of Syrians, but it takes its orders from the al-Qaeda leadership. This close relationship has prevented the West from providing the Islamic Front with weapons, and there are those who believe the new manifesto was a message to the international community.
It coincided with the visit of Ahmad Jarba, the head of the Syrian opposition, to the US. Jarba is asking the world for more weapons. The manifesto, which avoided mentioning an Islamic State, was also released at the time. Western and some Arab countries are talking about fighting terrorism.
The Islamic Front denies it is reversing its policy, but trying to find common ground among rebel factions. Its new position may find it new allies, but it also may create a new rift with a powerful force like Nusra. Zeina, Khodr, Al Jazeera, Antakya.